Deep inside these pine barrens lives the Jersey Devil. It's a half-goat, half-snake, demonic flying monster. Thousands of people claim to have seen the Jersey Devil right here. To uncover the truth behind the legend, Jack decided to come investigate it for himself. Jack and his crew first headed to a nearby town to ask around. As soon as they bumped into a local, they eagerly asked if he knew anything about the Jersey Devil, and if he had any spots to recommend for their search. The guy replied, "You just gotta look in the woods. There's a lot of creepy stuff out there, and you never know what you're gonna run into." Another local told Jack the origin story of the Jersey Devil. Legend has it that a long time ago, a woman got pregnant, thinking she was going to have a normal baby, but the baby was born with wings, and flew right out the window the second it was born, and that's how the Jersey Devil came to be. Then, the guy shared his own personal experience from when he was 14. "I was heading to a nearby town, and my buddy was driving me. Suddenly, this creature flew out of the woods, and blocked the car. We were shaking like crazy. When we looked back, we just saw this dark figure. People say it's all just rumors, but I saw it with my own eyes. So to me, it's 100% real." A third local recommended Jack check out a remote, 3-mile stretch of road. Word is, people have heard screaming coming from the trees there, and another guy they met also said he had seen the Jersey Devil himself. He described it as looking like a giant Rottweiler, but with bat wings. He said it sounded like a roaring dinosaur, high-pitched and ear-piercing. Even crazier, he mentioned that someone once shot at the Jersey Devil, but it did absolutely nothing. 100 years ago, someone even blasted it with a cannon. It blew a literal hole right through the beast, but the creature acted like it didn't even care. Hearing this, Jack joked that he was just gonna fight it with his bare hands. The guy quickly warned him against it, telling Jack to absolutely not do that, because a week after he saw the Jersey Devil, one of his friends actually got murdered. Finally, the guy mentioned a really old, historic village, where a ton of sightings had happened. But before heading over, Jack did a little digging of his own, and it turns out, that story about shooting the monster with a cannon wasn't a joke. It's actually documented in history. Someone was testing a cannon back in the day, and accidentally hit a creature suspected to be the Jersey Devil. Even though it blew a hole in it, the creature was completely unfazed. Later, people found some really weird tracks at the scene, so they brought in some hunting dogs to track them down, but the dogs were too terrified to even go near the tracks. After that incident, reports of the Jersey Devil went totally quiet for a while, but by the end of that same year, a bunch of people started claiming they saw it again. Next, Jack and his team arrived at that village. This is the legendary birthplace of the Jersey Devil. The whole place was covered in creepy Jersey Devil decorations. It looked super eerie, but as they explored the town, they realized it was a complete ghost town. Half the houses were unlocked, and the power was still left on. Despite all this, Jack searched carefully, hoping to find some solid proof that the beast exists, but when he tried using his gear to scan the area, none of the equipment would work properly. That's when Jack's buddy suddenly remembered what one of the locals had said earlier: if you run into the Jersey Devil, all your technology just dies. Ultimately, they only saw a bunch of Jersey Devil portraits, but found absolutely zero hard evidence. Just as they were getting ready to head to the next spot, a really weird noise suddenly echoed from the nearby woods. Jack said the sound was just too creepy, but since it was getting way too late, there was no way they could track down where it came from, so they had to move on to the next location, a stretch of the Pine Barrens. Almost all the sightings happen right here. Before heading into the woods, Jack looked up the area's historical records. In 1980, a park ranger found a bunch of pigs brutally slaughtered in the forest, but there were absolutely zero footprints or tracks at the scene. You gotta understand, any animal attack would leave some kind of trace behind, unless the thing could fly, which matches the flying trait of the Jersey Devil perfectly. Plus, tons of people say they've heard bizarre screams in these woods, and some have even seen the demon themselves. To deal with the pitch-black environment of their night search, Jack geared up with cameras and a thermal imager. The thermal imager picks up heat signatures, so even in the worst lighting, they could still spot anything out of the ordinary. At 3 a.m., the absolute peak time to spot the Jersey Devil, Jack and his crew stepped into the forest. Looking at the overgrown trail signs, he couldn't help but say, this place is just too creepy. The Jersey Devil could be hiding right there in the trees, or it could be flying right above them, and that's the scariest part of it all. He was actually kind of scared to even look through the thermal imager, because if he did see something on that screen, he would absolutely freak out. It was just so incredibly dark, and being out in such a massive forest, there was zero sense of safety. Not long after, they decided to leave the main trail, and head deep into the heart of the woods, right where the most sightings are concentrated. Jack scanned the area with the thermal imager, but the vegetation was super thick, and aside from the sound of crickets, there was absolutely no movement. Jack remembered what one of the locals said earlier: the Jersey Devil is a bad omen. Whenever someone sees it, bad things start happening to them, like getting hit by a car, stuff like that. Even if it doesn't attack you directly, bad luck will always follow. While walking under a tree, Jack suddenly got a really bad feeling. It was the most overwhelming sense of dread he'd felt all night. He started frantically scanning his surroundings, but no matter how hard they looked, they didn't catch a glimpse of the devil, nor did they find any strange footprints. But that terrible feeling just kept getting stronger. So, Jack and the crew had to book it out of the woods fast. After wrapping up the investigation, Jack summarized the whole experience. The crew searched the woods for a long time, but the thermal imager didn't pick up a single anomaly. They visited the village where the demon was allegedly born, and only saw some paintings. They talked to a bunch of locals, and heard plenty of wild stories, but some of those claims were just way too outlandish to fully believe. Plus, after doing his own extensive research, he found that all the photos and videos of the Jersey Devil are probably the fakest of any cryptid out there. Finally, Jack gave his conclusion. Based on the evidence they have so far, the Jersey Devil just isn't real. It's time to put this mystery to rest.